correct?
We live. What's going on? What's going on, man?
Motivation Mondays, week 83. Let me get these topics in here. Work hard, play hard. I seen you in Miami. Shout out to you and the whole team. Brenda, what's up? Good morning, Copper. What's good? ATM. This is definitely going to be a good morning if ATM is live and direct.
What's going on?
Motivation Monday.
Hardworking man waking up early Monday morning.
It's your day out, but still stuff has to get done. Do us a favor, send us out to 5 or 10 people. We are live on YouTube, so feel free to jump on the YouTube platform. Click the link. Make sure as soon as you get in, you click like, subscribe, as we are changing things up. And then this episode will be available on all streaming platforms. So yes, good morning, my brothers. Good morning, my kings and queens.
Capo, what's going on, my brother?
God flow. Soon link in the motherland, my brother. Once again, send us out to 5 or 10 people in your immediate circle right now. Let me get these amazing topics for the week. We got a lot of big dogs in here in the morning. There we go. Ava, what's good? All right, let's get to it. Here we are. Here's our topics. How was your weekend, brother?
My weekend was good. Celebrated my brother's birthday. Shout out Joker.
Scorpio season here.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You know it's
okay. We'll let it go today. We'll let it go today. Yes, sir. What else did I do this weekend? Yeah. Overall, started to get cold, but we adapt. We move. We're not surprised.
We talked about this a couple weeks where it's like, we don't wait till the cold comes for us to get bundled up or to stay warm. So this is exactly what we're talking about. A lot of people got hit with the breeze and like, whoa, it's cold.
Yep, get ready. Prepare yourself for season. Get ready for the season, changing season. It requires you to change. Each time you get better and better.
I actually had to, I encourage everybody, as you know, the snow's coming, get your winter tires, check out your cars, do whatever you got to do from early. I seen a couple of people stuck on the road and I'm just like, damn, like, you want to be able to get everything done before you get in a situation like that, especially in this weather. So let's do that. As we get these topics here and ask questions, I'm going to speak about what we got going on. It's hoodie season, you're right, man.
I'm in the studio with a t-shirt. I'm kind of cold. It's hoodie season. I guess I didn't get the memo, but
I thought that's what we're doing. Every week we've been coming with a hoodie or something.
I was, man. It's because I had on a winter jacket. So I'm like, I'm not putting on a winter jacket and a hoodie. And then when I got into the studio, it's kind of cold. Unless you guys are gonna see me with my jacket on.
Hello, Team Albion. I know that's your people with their small touch. All right, guys. So for week 83 topics, we're going to be talking about the best ways to evolve to your full potential. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about red flags. That was something that came hot in October, but we're going to break it down into the aspect of bettering our life and bettering the people around us. And then we're going to talk about the price you pay by staying exactly where you are in life. And trust me, this one's gonna be deep because I feel like these are the conversations that needs to be said. And I've been double dabbling on social media, seeing everyone talk about the red flags, about other stuff that don't really matter to us. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about the things that are very, very important. But once again, good morning, kings and queens. Shout out to all our newcomers right now. We are live on YouTube, so shout out to our YouTube family. You can even leave our IG live and go straight to YouTube live, as we're soon we won't be on the IG live right now. We're just doing this to inform everybody and keep it going.
When you get on the YouTube live, like, subscribe
right away as soon as you get in there, and tell a friend to tell a friend. That's very, very important what we're doing. So let's get right into it. First of all, you've been doing an amazing job of your gems of the week. I kind of thought you were gonna do the gems of the week in your suit still. I thought you were gonna come with that. Would have been super hard still, but yesterday your gems of the week was talking about action. Mm-hmm. And when we were talking about action is, you can have all these things, in your head, you can say all these things, unless you put in the work, it's not really gonna happen.
Yeah, but I think, like I said in the statement by Napoleon Hill, action is the true measure of intelligence. I think sometimes we wait too long waiting for the perfect moment. And I said before, perfection equals paralysis. I think action is the only way we can find out quicker. Deciding to decide, that's a decision. And some of us take too long on that stage. Is this the right decision? What if I do this wrong? The only way you're able to find out is if you take action. Right? Pull the trigger. Anybody could talk all they want, right? But until you do it, you have no idea what it is that you're going against. And it feels good to plan. You're in the blueprinting stage where you kind of analyze everything, but action is all you got, right? We're judged based on how we act, but not the things that we say. So it requires the exact same thing. If you keep constantly talking about your dreams and the things that you want to do, it's great to talk about it, but what are you doing about it? Action.
And I mean, like, what about people who are caught up in, because you said, when you sit there and dwell on things that you need to do and not taking action upon it. I know it says it's 21 days to build a habit and then 90 days for a lifestyle. So let's say your habit is just not getting things done and you're caught up in that. How do we break people out of that cycle? Because, it's easy to get caught up in life and then depression hits you and you're just sitting there fatigued, not wanting to do nothing, just probably getting up, going to work, paying your bills and doing the bare minimum. But how do we, get people out of that routine if they're already stuck in it?
No, we talk about some of the many things as far as procrastination, but when it comes to doing it in a habit, it's a little steps at a time, right? You don't have to worry about hitting the home run, right? If it's just as little as making that phone call that you need to make to connect with the right people, sending that DM, that's an action. See, people often assume that action means habit complete. No, it means taking that step. And that step, the most important step, is the step that you have to take moving forward, right? So it's the snowball effect. If things are difficult for you to do, you have to break it down to stages, minor, beginner, expert, levels, right? Intermediate, until you're able to conquer what it is that you have planned. So these are the little things. And no matter how small your step is, right? It's at your own pace, right? So when we talk about action, it's like, don't confuse. I said this before. Don't confuse movement with achievement. But is it your very best? When we talk about potential later on, we'll get into it. Is it your very best, right? What does it require? Is this step significant enough for you? It's not about for others or what people else expect you to do, but are you reaching your full potential? Are you taking the steps needed for you to get where it is that you want to get to? So by that is what I mean by breaking these habits. The little steps eventually will turn into a giant step. We learn and we learn as we grow.
You talked about taking steps. Is it important sometimes for us to take a step back and realize what's going on for what we want out of life? Because sometimes you could just be going, and things are maybe moving for you a little bit, but you're not really seeing the bigger picture. Like, you're probably just comfortable with the results that are getting, but we want to do things big, right? One of our common friends, he'll talk about doing it big this year. Yeah. We want to encourage things. Like, we all have the capacity to do things big in a large way. Some of the dreams that we have, it can be accomplished. If your dreams aren't if you aren't scared of your dreams, then they're not big enough. It's okay for you to be scared of the unknown or like what you think is going to come and actually achieving them.
We like to be predictable, right? As humans, that's how we feel comfortable, right? To be able to analyze situation and taking a step back, that's what it is. Analyze, see what works best for you. There's nothing wrong to go through your day at the end of the day, right? Or at the end of the week, go through what worked for you, what didn't work for me. How could I get better in this side of town, in this side of the world? What is it that I got to do to continue to grow? So it's okay to take that step back and analyze the overall frame, right? It's difficult to see the picture when you're in it, but take a step back and have a view and see what works. How could it get better?
And when it comes to full potential, I think I want to bring up the word teamwork, because there's people have their strengths and they have their weaknesses, and once you're able to dissect which one, what you're great at and what you're not good at, that's where, when you have a team, other people will fill in that role of what you're not good at, and so on and so on. So how important is it for us to understand our strengths and weaknesses to better off whatever our calling is? Because teamwork makes the dream work. Nobody did anything alone. So in this world, you're going to have to work with people, especially if you have a dream or if you have a company or whatever it is that your calling is for. You're going to have to work with people. How do we get that going and understand to break our strengths and weaknesses and allow people to come in where we're not good at?
Yeah. Well, the first thing is, how do we get started? It's always awareness. That's the first step to anything, is awareness. Acknowledging to yourself, this is where you are, this is who you are, and this is what you need, right? Which is okay to reach out to people. This is all part of reaching your full potential. If somebody or a tool could help you get to where it is that you need to be, go ahead, use that. That's all part of it. We cannot do it alone, right? So as far as teamwork, as far as where do we start acknowledging the right people, is admitting to ourselves, right? Admit to yourself that this is what I lack, this is what I'm good at, and this is what part of my life that I need help with to reach that full potential of my being.
Now, the key word in that one is trust. It's hard for some people. I always hear people talking about, I get everything done myself. It's so hard to trust people. I understand that I need to work with people, but I need to trust people. What advice would we give to people? Because, we're in a society right now where trust is kind of everything. So if you can't trust somebody, it's hard to take that step to work on something, one goal or one thing in common.
Well, when we look at it, I say this: expectation leads to disappointment. When we talked about expecting things from people who don't deliver, but responsibility lies on self, right? Take full responsibility for what happens to you. Take the initial step. When we talk about trust is me believing in myself to trust in you. It's not so much as me directly trusting you for you to
I like that.
for me to fall back onto you, but it's me believing in myself to trust in you. By that I mean by understanding what it is that I'm putting myself into, how I'm being vulnerable. And being vulnerable does not make you weak, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to say it again. Being vulnerable does not make you weak. It actually shows your strength, right? It shows that you are aware of what it is that you need to work on. So if it's you trusting other people, you just got to set that scaffold, that foundation, that support system to know that where you're putting yourself, you take full responsibility and liability, and putting in the buffers to make sure that if you fall, it's not because of one person. If you fall, is an exact relation to you, not because of what somebody else was supposed to do or not.
So would there be any what would be one of the best advice to give to people to understand or learn somebody? Because I feel like sometimes in this day and age, when it comes to entrepreneurship or people who are out there networking, you're gonna meet random people, and it seems like people are fond of working with people they don't know, better than people they do know, because you're starting out a new slate. There's no thinking of the past and this and that, using it against you. So people like that. But how do they not really keep a safeguard, but how do they get everyone to get on the same page, or maybe not even on the same page? What works best for them?
Well, when we talk about teamwork, which is something that we get into as far as encouragement, knowing where so much, not so much as knowing yourself, but also knowing those people around you, right? What it is that they're good at and what it is that you're weak at, and you meet each other there, right? It's all about working together. It's all about compromise, understanding self and others to be able, right? If you could accurately predict what somebody else may do, your life would be much, much easier. Right? So it's about understanding self, understanding others, and just watch. Often we just like to just talk to people and interfere with their ways and what it is we don't agree with, but just watch. You watch somebody long enough, you actually see what it is that they're up to.
It's a great point that's being used, and I love that the fact that our kings and queens are connecting in the live right now, also to our YouTube live family. This is what it's all about, networking. We're talking about that, right? Everybody that's here, you guys do have one thing that's in common, and that's the awareness of wanting to better your life. You're here soaking in the information, and what I love about this is we all learn from each other. So we're willing to learn from you guys. You guys are willing to learn from us, and it's one family, and together we can grow. And like Wavy was talking about, we will be having a Motivation Monday event where we can bring everybody together as the year's coming down, and we wrap up what we're doing. I definitely want to get some vision board events going on with the city and get things moving like that. And honestly, I got to give a big shout out to Wavy. I went to a baby shower yesterday, a Mississauga shower. Shout out to all the Loyola guys that came through, and they were talking about Motivation Mondays. It was all of them. And I know Wavy's pushing the agenda and they're seeing it. And
I want to shout out Tay. She has a workshop coming, and she reached out to me. If I'm not mistaken, it's November 26th, and that's the thing. It's all about networking. You don't know. Ironically, she reached out to me. So you never know who you're touching. When you do things, don't wait for the approval from others, right? If you do something from the kind-hearted, the genuine of your heart, you'll be shocked how far that message goes. If you have something good to share it, regardless of who you think is listening or who's not, right? We often try to get our fans from home and our home base, but that may not be it, right? You may be touching people's lives that you may never come across, right? So often when I go to these events, and it's like a little shell shock to me myself, because then it's like, this kind of like you walking around, people knowing, I'm like, this is how celebrity feels. This kind of like awkward. Hey, Max, I'm like, hey, I just put up my hand. Like, I still that whole adjustment, but just to see that the message that we're doing is doing a good cause, and just like that, just ask. Right? She talked to me and she's like, I'd like you to come out to my event. Check my calendar, I was free. I said, I'll be there. Right? Just ask, right? You don't know until you ask, right? If it was something that she was scared, fear, we always talk false evidence appearing real, we're all humans, things go wrong and things might just happen, but just ask, right? Doing it, right? I'm pretty sure she'd contemplate, or maybe she probably contemplate if I sent motivation team an email, probably wouldn't happen. And we ran into each other, and no greater seasoned opportunity than what she did. So shout out to if I get more information for anybody else, I'd like to come out. Yeah, we should connect there, right? It's always good to connect with people, right? Closed mouths don't get fed. Exactly.
Facts. And I always encourage people, when you're out and about, talk about your brand. Introduce yourself to people. You'll be surprised and shocked. You know, you got to start having these conversations, because it's either, if you really want this, it's going to lead to the boardrooms where you got to be prepared to speak in front of people, or behind the emails. So, you know, and actually, yes, we could definitely figure out a way to connect. She has her More Mondays thing, and I seen you guys going on, but put the ego aside, network, invite everyone. Yeah, don't worry, we're gonna go hard, man. We're definitely doing this, and each and every week that you guys come and support us on the YouTube Live, listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, on the IG Live, even when we do the Gems of the Week, when we drop the highlights from the previous episodes, the comments, the likes, the shares, that's what keeps us going, and that's why we're all here, right? We want to see a better future for all of us, but it starts today, right? Yep. I see you actually had one of the quote of the week, I forgot, but it was talking about today and the fact that we wait till tomorrow, but the actual day is today. I can't quote it properly, but it was hard.
Yeah, it was in regards to the thing about planning and saying we're gonna wait until tomorrow, is when it actually arrives, that tomorrow becomes today, right? So you could say tomorrow, but if you said tomorrow yesterday, here we are today, right? So the thing about waiting and saying tomorrow, when it does come, it's today. So it requires action. Pull that trigger, all right? Pull that trigger. Regardless of the results, you did it. You find out quicker, you learn. Welcome all the experiences. You don't want to go through life regrets. Oh, I should have done this. This would have happened and this, that. No. Right? Humans are actually funny. And when we take action, it doesn't work out. We try to justify action by saying, well, we look at all the negative, other possibility, but that's what life is about. You cannot have it all, right? If you come through two paths, you cannot go on both paths. And if you just sit there, you lose the opportunity of actually seeing the potential of what is on the other end of that trail. So just take that step. And the sooner you take that step, chances are you still have that chance, that opportunity to come back and go to the other path. Sometimes we let time push us down the wrong path, while the other path disappear on us, right? So if you're thinking, should I do this, should I do that? Just pick a side and go, right? Pick a side and go. Decide.
And sometimes when you talk about this, sometimes people have, they get caught up in trying to use their past as to why things are why they can't move forward or step forward. It's the things that were done to me, or this happened to me, and yada. It's kind of like not really excuses, because it has happened, but it is excuses. Is it excuses?
It's an excuse to some point, right? Okay. More than ever, we have tools and access to tap into it. You should not. You see, your past is supposed to gather experience, but it shouldn't hinder you, right? You should learn from it. It shouldn't hinder you, And I'm not here to minimize anybody's especially trauma or anything like that, but if it was trauma and it affected your past, now you're letting it affect your future, right? It's not so much as let's forget about it, but something that happened in the past is now directing how you live your future. It's an event, right? It's an event. It's a single situation. Never let a situation or circumstance define who you are. Whatever it is that you're going through, you're bigger than that. You're better than that, right? And use that as foundation. Use that as a platform, as ammunition for you to take action, right? And that's one of the reasons why we started. Feel the fire. Use that. And that's one of the reasons why we started Motivation Monday, or me starting to become a public speaker, because of the experience that I've been through, right? Is the failure, the trials is what build who I am, right? If it wasn't for those things, if I let those things break me, I wouldn't be here speaking on this platform today. But use it as a fuel, use it as fire, right? I'm not saying let's ignore it, right? Let's understand that it doesn't define who we are. Our life doesn't stop there. We should not let it affect us a year from now, 5 days from now. Speaking to my buddy of mine, I'm like, after 72 hours, think about it. If it's still bothering you, give it another 72 hours. Right? Literally,
sick.
Literally.
It's how you look at it. It's how you put it into perspective.
The past robs you of your future, right? What if you dwell on the past, it robs you of your future? And that's something we cannot afford, right? You already had a bad experience for whatever it is in the past. Don't let it rob you for your future. Your future is bright. Design the future that it is that you want. And don't let anything in the back bother you. And people don't think about it. I know we fear, what if this happened and I'm this and people will judge me? No. People will judge you based on your action. What it is that you said you're going to do.
And I seen yesterday, I was watching this thing with Steve Harvey, and he was talking about, if you're going through hell, why would you stay there? You need to get out, right?
You need to get out. Why would you stop? If you're going through hell, why would you stop? Why would you stop? If you're in a space of mind that you're not happy with, you gotta continue to go through it, right? Work on yourself continuously.
And I see some new followers popping up. Welcome to Motivation Mondays. Right now we're talking about the best ways to evolve to your full potential. I love that you guys are sharing it down and we're getting new people. I've seen a lot of new faces. Make sure you join us. We are also live on YouTube right now. So you can watch in the comfort of your home, whether you're working at home, you can put on your smart TV, however you watch it. As soon as you get into the YouTube live, make sure you click that like button, subscribe, drop a comment. And this is one family that we're building. We've been doing this for 83 weeks since the pandemic started. And Small Touch is becoming like a family session where we need to. And the good thing about it is now you can watch it at the comfort or whenever you want. You have it on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. You can watch on YouTube whenever you want. And then we put gems as well too.
Mention of network, it's been a while. Let's get some businesses out there in the comments on the YouTube world. That's what we talk about, networking. It's not so much as listening to us. There's potential somebody in this chat in the comments that may have the tools, the key for you to reach your full potential. So let's drop our business name, what it is that we do quickly, network with each other, follow, right? It's not just about listening to us. It's all about connecting with all of us around the world. We live in one place now. So if we have the chance to share the information amongst ourselves, let's do it. Every so often we do it. So let's get the business drop, exactly what it is that we do. Let's follow each other.
Drop your businesses here in the chat, whether you're on YouTube or IG. Let's network. Mia's World Club, shout out to you too. She's been doing an amazing job. She has a book that's out right now, out on Amazon, also in the schools and books. She's been putting in work. So everyone drop your business, drop the app right now. Let's connect. I know the Small Touch is here. My brother Kerry, we got a big meeting coming up. I actually got to connect. Something big is coming up in Brampton. So this is, it's Max is the numbers guy. So I know he's going to definitely love this. If anyone doesn't know, Kerry right now is he's a big guy. He just purchased a land out in Brampton, and he's trying to change the culture and teach us that we can do it. Like, we always see people getting things done, but we don't see our own people doing it. So
real estate, I love it. Anytime I hear real estate, I love it. I love to hear it. Let's go.
And it's right in our backyard. A lot of my people were from Brampton, right by Cardinal Leger. So we're working on something behind the scenes, also to bring Motivation Monday involved. So shout out to the Golden Triangle family, everybody that's here. Follow him, follow the business pages. I think once we see people doing exactly what we need to do, it makes it kind of easier.
It's possible. It's possible. Probability, right? Right? Until somebody has done it, it's difficult. Sometimes it's difficult for us to envision ourselves, right? Because we have these dark thoughts that we talk about. The mind is against us, right? So when we see somebody do it, hey, it opens that door, that light for us, right?
And real estate is a real numbers game. I was in a meeting with him last week, and when we were talking about everything, it was like I don't want to put the numbers on it, but it was a lot of $1 million. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, yo, bro, you're a part of this? And I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. Like, with hard work, determination, and having a plan and focusing,
commitment,
like, it can happen. Like, you'll be surprised. And we all have the same 24 hours.
Yeah.
And when after that meeting, I came on my damn, I gotta go harder, bro. This life is, because
like-minded people, get around people that encourage you to be more than who you are, right? If you're the brightest light in the room, you need to step in a different room, right? Get around people, get around like-minded people, get around people who wants the best out of you. Right? Stop being around people who expect anything and everything that you do is okay, right? I never tell somebody that you're good the way that they are, right? Does that mean I'm not happy with them? No, I mean you could do more, right? Wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, anybody on the platform, wherever you are around the world, if you're listening to this, if you think you are at your full potential, your very best, I'm here to tell you, you could do 10 times more. You could do 10 times more, right? You know you can. Turn it up. You know you can. Wherever you are, you can do 10 times more than what you're doing. And then when you do get there, I'm going to tell you again, you can do 10 more times of that. All right? You're never supposed to stop. As humans, you don't stop growing. I think we're the only species on Earth that don't reach to our full potential. How far and how long when a tree grows? It's as big as it can. As humans, I don't think we ever reach our full potential.
I love it. And Kerry just dropped it in there. There's room for the community to participate. So we're going to get into that. A lot of the newsletters coming out too, on the social media. We're going to get really involved. And, we want people. There's one thing in this world that we can't buy no more. That is land.
Yeah.
So we got to get involved.
Yeah. Actually, you can't. It's not buy no more, but actually you can grow no more, right? Everything else, that's what you got. Yeah, just wanted to clarify that. You can't make no more, but that's what we call
teamwork.
assets. It's teamwork, it's just teamwork. But that's one thing, and that's one of the reasons why I got into real estate, right? Gold is great, diamond is great, right? But those are all we could make more, right? It only takes pressure to make diamonds. But land, no matter what you do, we're actually losing land. Right, so if you want to acquire, if you're actually losing land, so if you want to acquire something worth of value that lives forever, land is what it is. Shout out to mortgage guy.
Yes, sir. Champ is in the building, and you know what's so funny? I've been driving around like where I used to work, my first job at McDonald's, Pine Valley Highway 7, and I encourage people like go back to your old school area. If you look at the areas, everything has changed. Yeah. Condos, stacked townhouses, like everything is different, and you just see how times have changed and where everything is going right now. And they're just building. So we gotta learn to budget. We got to start seeing where our money goes and really understanding what we want out of life and making the best decision for our future kids, whether you don't have kids, just to better ourselves in the future and make sure that we're good and we're not worried or regretting about, if I had did this back then.
Jump in it. That's one thing I realized about real estate. Don't worry about the $6 comments and the stuff that you see they post on the other social platform. If you can, jump in it, right? It's possible. It's happening. No matter how outreach it seems, people are doing it. People are jumping into real estate market. Just understand, so most of the time we're misinformed. The information that we get on the public, is often usually wrong. We're misinformed. Get your own education, jump in it. Don't just sit there thinking this is the right time. There's never going to be a right time, right? Jump in it.
I went to my first seminar before I was even ready, just to get the feel and get, and I made sure I was the first one to ask questions. I did some things just to get the feel.
Even if you were in the position to pull the trigger or buy a property, just ask. You do not know. A lot of the information is outdated information, right? Outdated information. Get that information.
But make sure you guys scroll in these comments so you can see all the people putting out their businesses over there so that we can connect and, help one another grow, especially in our community. That's what it's all about. And once again, shout out to all our new people. We're live on YouTube live right now. To our IG live family, you can jump out of the live and go straight to YouTube and watch us. But make sure once you get in, you click that like button. We're changing things up. Soon we won't be on the IG live no more. So in the meantime, between time, make sure you get comfortable. Make sure you subscribe, click that button.
And this is not because we don't like our IG family. Hey, you guys are cool. We started everything, but we're just giving the people what they ask. Lockdown was over. People went back to work and they're like, hey, I'm missing the live and I want to watch it on the YouTube after, or I want to watch it on YouTube while I'm at home working. So like you said, you guys fill out those surveys and we still, that survey is still open for you questionnaires for you guys to give us feedback. And like we said, this platform is for you guys. We just share the information for you guys to help each and every one of us. So just wanted to put that out there.
Before we get into our next topic, I want to talk about what if, because you have people, yesterday was so funny, we were talking about this, where we were talking about all the guys that we used to play ball in high school. Yeah. We used to go to tournaments and stuff. Now we're older and we're laughing like, yo, you remember when we thought we were going to the league or this and that? What about the people who have had some kind of success, whether it's in sports, whether it's in, coming up, and they weren't able to go through the path that they thought was destined for them. And sometimes they let that hinder them. Like sometimes they don't let that go because it's hard to accept the defeat and like, okay, this is not it for me. I got to get to something else. But they really believe that this is going to be. How do we get them out of that to work in whatever it is that is desired from in their future?
It's hard. Like I heard, shout out Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher. He said, the hardest thing in life is not to be broke. The hardest thing in life is to take some success and going back to being nobody. I can only imagine what those people are going through. I'm gonna say that again. The hardest thing in life is not to be broke. The hardest thing in life is to taste some success and go back to being a nobody. And when I heard that, sat so deep and well with me, because then you just think about is that you're pulling this pedestal and then you come back. Well, it's not that you're a nobody, but you're no longer put on this pedestal where people look up to as a superstar. That might be difficult for anybody that have to deal with that as far as high self-esteem. But understand, we're all humans. Understand you did something great that so many people couldn't. The numbers, the potentiality for you to even get to post-secondary to play sports, right? NCAA, CIS, whatever it is that you're dreaming to even take it to the next level. Understand it's an achievement. Right? Just because you don't reach the professional level doesn't mean you're a failure. You reach the professional level, and by means you don't get to stay for more than the average. What's the average year to be in the NFL or the NBA? I think 3 years, 4 years. right? It's only a few superstars that we see that make it past 10 years or so. But understand that that's an achievement. That's something great that you did, and be proud of that, all right? And use that now. Once again, don't let your past hinder you. We use it as a fuel. We use it as the power behind our trigger for what it is that we plan to do next, and use that to help others, right? The future generation. Right? If that's something that you truly love, you could still be around in that scope and that aspect, right? If you love the sport so much, if it just wasn't about becoming a millionaire, if it was just strictly about loving the sports passionately, you could coach the young youth, right? And tell them maybe some of the things that you should have not done, or some of the things that maybe you should have done more of. And that's what really is all about. It's about gathering all the experience. Don't let it hinder you. Don't let it hinder you. That you not reaching your full potential doesn't define, not even your full potential, because you're capable of being more. You're not reaching that the pinnacle of what it is that you of your domain doesn't mean you're a failure or you didn't make it anywhere, right? You just gotta understand that this opportunity was a chance for you to open many more doors for you, right? So don't let it hinder you. Use it as a power behind your trigger.
And I mean, when you look at it, I've seen so many great people who, like, I'll talk in the sports world where, like, it didn't go good for them, but they were able to find their calling still within the sports.
Yep.
Like, you know, my boy Randy, he started the athlete tech group. He started Rose Management. So, like, he found, okay, what else is needed in sports? There's trainers. There's there's managers. There's other things outside the business that I could still be involved in the game that I love. So it's all about researching and understanding who these people are, so you can see who's doing it, how you can, you know, set something up for yourself, or to come together with somebody else. But you know, one door closes, another one opens. So once you keep that positive mindset and know that we can, like you said, we can always 10 times our full potential. We can always go 10
times better than where you were, right? If you're watching this, like I said, no matter what it is that you're doing, no matter how good you are, if you just finish at your top tier of education and PhD, you can go back and get another one, right? It never stops. And you only know 1% of the information the world has to offer. 1%.
And you know, so funny, I've seen, because I seen your little bro. Was it his first game this?
No, they played semifinal. Shout out my little brother. He played his first game semifinal. I'm playing for Queens next weekend. I got two brothers on Western. Number 5, Keon Edwards, and my little brother, Richard Aduba, for number 25. Shout out. You know, those are grind, you know me. There's a couple of guys, they do it for the whole neighborhood, because we made sure that, hey, you guys take it a bit further than we did.
And that's why I brought it up, because I feel like I'm watching you through him, because I seen how hard you were invested into him before we got to this point, and now seeing it come to life, it's like, yo, this is real deal. Like everything, the early morning, the practices, bringing him all over to the road. I remember during the pandemic, you were still traveling. Now seeing him like be in that position and loving the moment, loving the win. I saw when they're doing their little call-in after they won. I'm like, yo, this is crazy seeing it come to full potential, to where he could take it to the next level. And you know, I gotta commend you and everybody who's out there for their siblings, making sure they put them in a better position and making them learn from maybe the mistakes or things that you were doing that he could better learn from. So kudos to you and shout out to him and his team.
Yep, like I said, I speak from experiences, and what I was talking about is an exact proportion to how it is that I live my life. You know, my athletic career probably ended first year of university, you know, for many other reasons, but through that I didn't let it define who I am, and that was part of it, to say, hey, this is your dream, this is what you need to do, you got to put in that hard work. And I said, this is the do's and this is the don'ts, this is what happened to me, and you share that information. And it was actually me that got them into football, both of them, coaching them, right? Convincing them to play football 11 at 12. So I was coaching. I had my little stint. I coach. Hey, won a championship, by the way. I'm not a bad coach. I just want to throw that out. I just want to throw that in there. In 1 year, I took.
You try to whisper that. Say that out.
Hold on. In 1 year, we went from tier 2 champions to playing some of the best team in Ontario. We took Burlington, and if anybody knows about football, Burlington kids are not to be played with. They were, I think, champions for about 5 years in a row, and we took them to triple overtime. And although I took them to the championship, most of those kids would say, Coach Max made us lose. I made a sub I shouldn't have, and it's okay. We live and we learn. We live and you learn. But yes, welcome all the experiences, and that's what it's about. Just a little football background right there. But yes, that's what it's about. It's like, just because I didn't reach it doesn't mean I don't have the potential to change somebody's life. And it's great to see some of these young men, some of these young boys that I seen at 12, 11 years old now, full grown men, and when I see them, what it is that you do in your life, I couldn't be any more happier for them. And I think that's what it's about, bro, making way for the younger generation, right? Just because it didn't happen to you, don't be mad at the world. Make it happen for the younger generation. Leave the world a better place than you found it. That's all I gotta say. Leave the world a better place than you found it.
I want to use this this analogy where from, you know, like you said, your brother just won and he's going on to the next round, right? So let's use it for humans. When we get our win and we're getting ready for the next one, what advice would you give for people to prepare for what's next to come?
Celebrate your wins, but don't celebrate too long, right? Celebrate your wins, don't celebrate too long. On to the next, right? Enjoy the moment, but don't live in the moment. All right. If you're just looking at your flower, how beautiful it is, and if you're not watering, taking care of it, the weeds will start to grow and they'll take your flower away. Right. So when you do win, celebrate, but not too long. Right. Be proud of your achievements. Right. Be proud of your achievement. By that I mean you know when you're overdoing it. You know you're overdoing it. It's been 3 days since my brother won. If I saw him celebrate, I'd be like, all right, let it go. Right. You're about to play your championship game, but. Well, you know, enjoy your flower. Take a picture of it and water it. Why? Because the weeds start to grow, right? Celebrate your wins. Enjoy the moment, right? But not for too long. Because as soon as you win, you know the haters are coming.
Facts.
They're coming to, you know what I mean? They're coming to rain on your parade.
I don't know if it's possible. We should go to the game. I don't know. We should go check it out.
Queen's University, the CIS rules is that they're making out in Kingston. They're making it difficult. I'm trying to purchase a ticket. We're working on it.
Because it would be great. I feel like, you know, I'm putting that championship in the air right now. I know they're going to win. I know we're going to, you know, hopefully the coach doesn't make that sub like how you did.
But it's all good. It's all good.
But we're here to make sure we push the agenda of our brothers who are doing great in all aspects, you know, supporting his family. And, you know, support your people, your friends. When you even if you don't know them, have that relationship, support them. You'll be surprised. Like congratulations, and, you know, those small words go a very, very long way. Anybody who's in that limelight of doing things, think about it. When people come up to you and let you know, like, yo, your gems of the week that you're doing, like, even in the comments, I've seen last week, I seen somebody talking about how it helped them with their relationship with their daughter, where it was like they had to watch it to understand, like, yo, maybe what my daughter is saying is correct. And me seeing that, I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. These are live and direct testimonies.
Live and direct testimony. Be careful. That's what I'm talking about. Don't worry about what it is, who's receiving the information. Share that information. You never know how you'll be able to impact somebody else's life. And just share that information. Don't harbor information. So you just never know, right? If you have the potential, right, to change somebody's life on to a positive direction, do it. Regardless if you're getting anything out of it. Right? Do it.
I want a big shout out to Ready for the Stage. You guys check her out. That's families. Anybody who's into interior decorations, if you're looking to get your house taken to the next level, please put that in the comments right now. She does an amazing job. You can check out her pages. She'll transform your house from wherever it is and take it to the next level. And we're talking about real estate, buying, and you know, doing all these other stuff. Like, even if you're buying real estate just to rent it out, there's upgrades and all these things you got to do. So please check her out. She's there. It's 11/11. You know what that means? We don't
shout
make a
Smiley.
Wish.
Smiley Don, Smiley. What's going on, my brother?
11/11. So we're gonna get into our affirmation of the week. We don't make a wish, we say affirmation. So our affirmation this week is: I am moving towards my highest potential each and every day. Every positive step I take increases the possibilities in my life. I can't wait to step into my highest potential. And I'm gonna repeat that one more time. I am moving towards my highest potential each and every day. Every positive step I take increases the possibilities in my life. I can't wait to step into my highest potential. And that's our affirmation in the day. And let's break that down for our people.
And get that one more time, my brother.
One more time. So, I am moving towards my highest potential each and every day. Every positive step I take increases the possibilities in my life. I can't wait to step into my highest potential.
Can't wait, faith, possibility. That is possible, right? Increase your possibility, your full potential. You know, potential is a funny thing because it's just an imagination, right? What it can be. However, it could be if you increase your possibility, if you take that positive step towards what it is, your deep calling, right? Which requires what? Getting out of your comfort zone, right? So to reach your full potential, you have to get out of your comfort zone. You know You know, which is for me too. I say these things sometimes I do. Like, you know you're not doing all that you can. You know, no matter who you are watching, you know you're not doing all that you can. You know you skipped out on the last set while you're working out. You know you said you're going to start reading at 11, but then you justified at 11:15. You know you're not reaching your full potential. That's why I know there's more in you. That's why I said there's 10 times more. I'll bet on that. I'll bet on that because we are humans. We like to take the bare. Let me add an extra 5 minutes, or I'll work extra hard. You know what I mean? It's full potential, it's imagination, but we have to believe. Right? Possibility, you have to believe. It requires you to do much more. It requires you to get out of your comfort zone.
And one thing I love that I take from you is, like, anytime I think of doing something tomorrow, I'll be like, why am I waiting till tomorrow? Get it done today. Get the things that we know that are necessary, get it done today. Don't wait for tomorrow, or don't wait for another time. Get it out the way and move on to the next.
Time is not on our side.
So that wraps up what we're talking about right now when we talk about the best ways to evolve to your full potential. If you're just joining us right now, you can watch it on the YouTube. We're on YouTube Live right now. This episode will be available, of course, on all streaming platforms right now. There was a lot of gems that were installed in the first half of Motivation Mondays. So make sure you soak in this information. To all our new family members who are coming, make sure you click that follow button, click the link, fill out the survey. We want to know how you learned about it. To our people sharing the live as well, sharing the YouTube Live, kudos to you guys. Shout out to you guys, one family, with the goal to share this information. We're not keeping it to ourselves. Now our next topic that is red flags. And this one is funny because social media, I don't even know how these things go viral. Like, I don't even know where these things come from, but then when the world clicks on, it clicks on. So we had these red flags. Everyone was coming out with the red flags. Everyone was putting it out on Twitter. It went super crazy, where they're just talking about from relationship aspect to what they're looking for from a man to a woman and all these other things. And I found that a lot of the conversation around red flags were not really helping us evolve or better ourselves. Like, it had nothing really to do with, like, credit. Like, so people would talk about, oh, if you go out to the first date and ask the girl to pay for the bill, like, that's a red flag. We're not talking about things that are gonna in a positive way. So I want to redirect the conversation so we can talk about it in a way we can bring red flags when it comes to our full potential, red flags when it comes to bettering ourselves, red flags when it comes to working on our goals and our achieving them as well too. So first of all, let's talk about why we need to have red flags in general in life. Like, why we need to look out for these things.
Don't ignore the negative, right? If you see the signs that shows potential threat to who it is that you want to be, that's a red flag, right? So beside all these things, all the meme that's going on, all the whatever things that we're talking about, I think it's more kind of like us ignoring some of these signs that we know is hindering our full difficult. It's difficult for us to see the good, but it's possible.
So, you know, that's why these affirmations and what you do in the beginning of the day, these things actually help and matter. And, you know, I want to encourage people, you know, let's just be more positive and understand, instead of when it comes to dealing with people, let's look at the positive than the negatives. Like, don't right away looking for these red flags of this person. Look at the green flags, look at the positive things that they're doing and work from there. And hopefully you don't have to endure in that, in like letting the red flags come and hinder you or hinder the situation. So, you know, shout out to the family. She said her family's tuned in and she said she will follow. Yeah, man, everybody come in. Shout out to, I'm seeing a lot of new names.
Be optimistic, right? Does that mean don't be naive? People say don't only look at the bright side, but understand there's darkness, understand that there's dark side, but don't be a pessimist, right? Don't always look at the cup, the glass is half empty. Also see it's half full and the potential for it to be a full cup. Not that this is draining and this is all there's ever going to be. Yes, there is danger. Yes, there is the bad side of life, but that's not the only side, right? That's not the only side. And more often we dwell on all the negative things. Right? Think to yourself, you know, when people say, what if it goes wrong? I say, okay, that's good. All right. But what if it goes right? What about that? You know, you always hear people, oh, what if it goes wrong and this happens and that happens? What if it goes right? And sometimes even if it does go right, we talk about handling success, right? Some people find it difficult to handle success, you know, but just don't dwell on the negative, right? It's possible. Be optimistic, positive mindset. The world is already hard enough as it is. Nobody's on your side. Don't go against your own beliefs and thoughts. Then it's everybody against you. It's you against you.
And I encourage people to, if we feel something about a situation, communicate. Don't let a situation get out of hand and then it's too late if you could have spoke on it from early. So if you feel like, you know, whether this is to everything, not only relationships, friendships, all of that. If you feel like there's something you didn't like, speak about it. Don't let weeks go by, months go by, and then you're letting it be okay with it. And then now you're wishing you would have said something when you could have handled it from early. Repressing feelings comes back in its ugliest way. Cool. Right? Repressing feelings come back in its ugliest way. Right? Deal with it. Let it out. Like, you know what I mean? Communicate it. Right? Even if it means write it down. Right? Maybe in that moment you might be too emotional. Right? Just write it down. Write everything down you feel down. Don't trust your memory. I said this all the time. Don't trust your memory. Right? Because for your memory to go through the process of encoding, storage, and retrieving is a difficult three-step process, and you may not be able to keep all those information. So don't trust your memory, record it down. Repressing feelings and emotions will come back in its ugliest form. Bro, that's deep, bro. Yeah, I'm seeing it's big facts. It's big facts. And you know, that's our conversation on red flags. You know, I just wanted to take something that it was going crazy last month. I'm like, I know we don't really touch on things that go viral like that in the moment, but as I was doing my research and sitting down, I want to speak about it and turn it around and put it in a positive aspect so that we can resonate to it and understand where we're coming from. Perfect. Yeah, comprehend. So our last topic of the day is the price you pay for staying exactly where you are in life. And basically, it's because if you stay where you are, and I love how you're talking about the full potential. There's a question, I'll talk about that. I'll ask that question and we'll get into that one. The question here is, so what if you communicate with the person and they don't respond back?
What is respond back? Is it, right, I need more context, because often respond back is us in hope of getting the response that we wanted. Right? If it's strictly ignored, that's your answer. No answer is an answer. So there's two ways. If there's no direct response, no answer is an answer. Right? Take it for what it is. They do not care to share or express how it is that they believe or feel about a situation. Now, if the response is not satisfying to your standard, that's a different question. So I need to know what is no respond. Is it a respond that you weren't expecting, or they didn't respond at all? But no respond is a respond.
Those ones be the ones that hurt, I guess. I know those ones when you're expecting a response and it doesn't.
Action. That's the action speaks for itself, right?
So we'll wait when we get more context into that one, and then we'll get into our last topic. So fill us with some more information so we can. And if you answered the question the right way, then put a thumbs up in the chat so we know. Oh, so yeah, they didn't respond as well.
Yep, that's an answer, right?
So I guess it's when you are looking for an answer and you don't get the answer that you want, how do you deal with that in that terms? Because now you have a choice to move. You know, there's two choices you either make from that situation.
Take full accountability, responsibility. Don't let a certain situation or circumstance define who you are. Stick to your knit, stick to your guns, pull that trigger for whatever it is that you need to do. It may have bothered you, you welcome all experience it. Don't let it change who you are. You made a promise to yourself. Integrity, right? Hold yourself at a higher standard what anybody else expects of you.
Phew, thumbs up are coming, so there it is. So let me get into our last topic. Like I said before, the price you pay staying exactly where you are in life. And you know, we were talking today about your full potential. I feel like there is a price. If you stay exactly where you are, don't better yourself and understand, especially where the world is going right now. Oh boy, you're in for some, you know, like you'll be doing a lot of watching and talking to conversations and not being a part of it. So how do we get people to not, like, you know, actually, first of all, let me ask you this. What is that price? Not even talking about money. Like, what is the price to pay if you stay exactly where you are without growing or learning or educating and like reading and understanding what is out there for us?
If you're not happy with the results that you're getting in your current situation of life right now, I'm here to tell you, if you stay where you are, it's gonna get worse. It's not gonna be the same, it's gonna get worse. Everything compounds. If you're on a decline, right, and it's actually gonna go down much faster, right? We all know how life is compounded, right? When you do something great, it gets compounded. It's harder. The compound on positivity is less. The rate on positivity is less, but the rate on negativity is much, much, much higher, right? If you do not like the position of where you are in your life, I'm here to tell you, each day it gets worse. Each day gets much more difficult, right? That's the price. That's the price. Failure is not something that happens overnight. It's habit, it's actions repeated every day until you find yourself in a position, in a place you do not want to be at all. So the price to pay is significant. Right? I don't know how it is, but let's just say occupation, right? You do not want to go get the additional training, right? You do not want to go get the additional degree for whatever it is, right? And you're not happy with your job. Well, I'm here to tell you, right? Your job is not all of a sudden going to give you an increase if you haven't also improved your set of skills. And guess what? The economy is going to go up. You're still getting paid the same. Your life becomes harder than what it is. So before, when you were finding it difficult with 80% of your paycheck going towards your rent and your bills, well, when those bills increase next year, which they will, and you haven't changed, it has gotten worse for you. Right? Same thing. If you're not happy with your condition, your health, whatever it is, and this is not so much about being fit, taking care of yourself. It's much more difficult for you to start if you didn't start a year ago. It gets worse, right? So you're always going to be ahead of the curve. Don't wait for the government to save you. And I'm going back to the whole employment thing. Don't wait for the minimum wage. You're not minimum. You're better than that, right? So when I saw people making a fuss about the minimum wage increase only 15 and it costs this, you're not minimum, right? You're not minimum. Minimum is for people. It speaks for itself. It's minimum, right? So if you want more, you got to acquire more, right? You got to learn more. And that's what it's really all about, right? So like I just said, the price to pay to stay where you are, it gets worse each time. So whatever it is that you know what you need to do, get up and go do it. Next year will cost more. It's compounded. And the percentage for compounding on negativity is much higher than it is positivity. So please, this wrap backs back up into potentiality is understand that it gets harder each year. So we must improve our set of skills.
Yep, there's a chart where they put it out there where it's like to purchase a home 10 years ago was about like 100,000, 200,000. Now 10 years later, we're talking about 700, 800 up in a million. And you know, those people 10 years ago, it was hard for them, but they did what they had to do. But then next year, the 10 years later, look at the price. So think about the next 10 years ahead of us, what it's going to be like. Oh my goodness.
Our children are going to be pissed. The house was $1 million and you didn't buy? That's what they're gonna be here. The house is $1 million and you didn't buy? I wish I was there those times. That's what life is around growing, you know what I mean? If it's hard, make it hard. If it's easy, make it easy, you know?
We know, right? That's the one thing I think when it comes to this, that I took from today's conversations. We actually know. You know what we're supposed to do.
You know what you're supposed to do. You know what you're supposed to do. You're just trying to get away with it. We always try to cut a deal with life. I said it before. Life is not Donald Trump. Don't try to cut a deal, right? Life is not Donald Trump. Don't try to cut a deal. You know what you need to do, right? If you do what's easy, life will be hard. If you do what's hard, life will be easy. Those are the two choices. So you got to decide today, what is it that you're going to do, right? Take action.
Sometimes you got to step back, take a break, separate yourself from people.
It's okay to enjoy yourself, right? It's okay to. And I'm not saying work. Don't take time out to play. You got to enjoy. You got to enjoy a bit. But in this life, if we talk about enjoyment, delay gratification.
And there's this quote that talks about elevation requires separation. And you know why? I think sometimes people are too like, I need people around me to do this, or I need this done. Like, why is that? It's such it's 3 words, but it's so powerful. It holds so much weight.
Yeah, because you need that. It's difficult for you to go up the ladder with 4 people at the same time, right? You have to take that steps, and people are hindering you, right? Like, human, we're so influenced by the people around us. So influenced. We all want to fit in. Nobody likes to stand out in the group. We actually see this in other species, right? When you stand out from your in group, you become target. So we're scared of that. We're scared to step out away from our group because then we're exposed. But you need that. Once in a blue moon, once in a generation, somebody comes out and becomes a leader of the pack. Becomes a leader of the pack, and people don't like that. People say you gotta step out. You gotta step. I know you feel exposed. Vulnerability is not weakness. It's a strength. This is who I am, and this is where I am, and I know I could do more. Right? Don't try to fit in. Stand out. You're unique. Don't ask for minimum. Don't wait for the government to save you. Don't wait for somebody to save you. Live your life like you're the own superhero in your movie. Right? Nobody's gonna save you. Nobody's gonna give you the life that you think you deserve. You got to design your future. You got to give yourself that. Nobody cares about you more than you should care about yourself. And I know so much people say that I'm such a good person and I wouldn't do this.
Reality check.
They are. That's what makes life balanced. There's good and there's the bad. You're good and there's somebody has to be bad. That's the only way we're able to see that you're a good person. If you're all good, we can't tell if you're a good person or not. So understand that there's bad people. That's how you're able to be good. Right? Accept to understand that. Be fascinated with life, right? Be fascinated. Don't be frustrated. Be fascinated. Turn your frustration into fascination. That's what I want all of us to do this week. Turn your frustration into fascination. When things go wrong and things are not going our way, and whoever it is, whatever it is, be fascinated. Why is this happening? Why is this person like to say it to yourself? Analyze it. Like I just said, when you're able to watch people, right, and you can actually predict human beings' behavior and actions, your life would be so much easier. Right? People often say, well, why you just let it go? Why you smile? I'm not going to get into a debate with you and shoot up. Like, you're already stressing me physically. I cannot let you get in my mind mentally, all right? But this week, let's turn our frustration to fascination. That's all for this week. Guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Monday Motivation. Each and every Monday, we appreciate the love and support. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow our platforms, Apple Music, Spotify.
Everything. A lot of people are coming in right now, but listen, the great thing about this is we're going to post this on our IG Live. It's going to YouTube, but we're changing everything and going to YouTube. And like you said, the Apple Podcast going to Spotify. So you can go rewatch this live and direct. You can hear the conversation we had. You can listen to it through your phone, smart TV, whatever it is. But that wraps up week 83.
83 weeks. Amazing.
Perfect. Amazing. Thank you, brother. That was a great session. Shout out to Wavy, T, everybody in the background, to everybody that's out there. Let's continue to be great. Have a great day and have a